Hello and welcome to the Kayla Page Unfiltered podcast. In light of March being Endometriosis Awareness Month, I wanted to launch my brand new limited series, the Endopreneur Chronicles. In this series, I will be chatting with some powerhouse entrepreneurs, business owners, and even some medical professionals lined up that either personally have endo or specialize in the field. We will chat about journeys, businesses, and of course, some controversial conversations. This may be more than a limited series, but you didn't hear that from me. Now, let's get into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Endopreneur Chronicles series. Despite the endless tech issues we faced trying to record this, I am so excited to share this incredible conversation with the beautiful founder of Your Bliss, Maddie Burton. After being diagnosed with PCOS and endometriosis, Maddie went on a natural mission to swap what she put in and on her body to manage her conditions, with perfume being one of the last things to swap or even think about. She struggled to find a perfume that smelled luxurious and wasn't just essential oils, so she decided to create her own, with the business naturally coming to fruition and changing the way people think of natural perfume. This is such a valuable conversation where we chat about Maddie's diagnosis, navigating business while managing her chronic illnesses, and some tips for anyone that may be struggling. Due to the tech issues faced while recording this episode, I did want to apologise in advance for any changes in audio or background noise, but I promise this conversation is so worth it. Hello, Maddie. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast and be having a bit of a chat with you. I would love if, before we get into today's chat, if you could introduce yourself and what you do to anyone that doesn't know you.
Thanks for having me, by the way. I'm really excited to chat to you. I'm Maddie. I'm 29 years old, and I guess, my past was very fitnessy. I was known, I guess, for my fitness content and as a personal trainer and a bar instructor. And I guess I've kind of fallen into a self-employed perfume founder. And I've been, doing this and running my own business for the last 4 years in the fragrance industry. And I love it so much. And health is still very much a part of my journey. I've got a lot of, chronic illnesses and things that I work through every day. So I feel like health is always going to be a continued massive part of my life. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's amazing. And especially, as we'll get into today, like health is so, so important. And it's literally the only, like you have it for your entire life. Like you got to look after it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I would love to kind of chat about your endo journey, your diagnosis. What was it like?
Yeah, it was a very long process. Like, unfortunately, it is for a lot of people. So I guess I got my period really young, like maybe 11 or maybe even before then. And ever since then, I've had extremely painful periods. I don't know, I guess I've struggled to show up in life as the best version of myself, and not being able to be told why that is such a frustrating feeling. So yeah, up until it's almost going on my 7-year diagnosis of endo, which was a complete accident how I was diagnosed. And just the frustrating part of, I guess, no doctors taking you seriously. I was so sick of that. And I think you know your body better than anyone else. So when I was just in this place in my life where I was so sick, and I found this doctor who, he was actually a surgeon and a gynecologist, and he diagnosed me within 5 minutes of meeting me with endometriosis, which was really so interesting because I actually had not really heard of endo back then. And he was just so sure that that's what it was. And I went into my first laparoscopy surgery maybe 2 weeks after, this person's telling me, I think you've got this thing that I've never heard of. And then coming out the other end and being like, yep, you definitely have endo. I had it, everywhere, including embedded in my bowels and in so many other areas that were, it just, I guess, made so much sense for me why I had so many health issues in those areas. And yeah, so that was just like such a relief to finally be able to understand that I guess you're not crazy.
Oh my God, that's actually crazy, especially that you didn't really know about it at that point in time, because like it's only been in the last few years that it's really started, like endometriosis in particular has actually started to gain traction, I guess, and people
I
actually
know.
talking about it.
It's I've noticed this massive difference actually, even in the last, I'd say 6 months, when I tell people I have endo. I would say like 99% of people that I tell actually know what that is now. Whereas if I'd have told anyone a couple years ago, I have to explain it to. So it's really interesting seeing how much people are, I guess, becoming aware of it now.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like because there's so many people that have suffered for, so much of their life, some people into like their 40s, 50s, and then getting diagnosed, like there's so much advocacy around it now, which is just incredible, especially for, endo sufferers. Because I know when I personally like got diagnosed, I tell people, they're like, the fuck is that? Like, I have no idea. Now I like tell them, they're like, oh yeah, that's this. And you kind of go like, oh, okay, people actually know about this now.
Yeah, it's great for awareness. It's amazing actually.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's such a long journey. And obviously, you having these issues since you were so young as well. Like you're just a child trying to navigate this.
Yeah.
Just insane.
It was rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally relate to you with that. I was very much the same, and it's just, yeah, not something you exactly going through at that age.
No. How long have you been diagnosed for?
3 years, I think.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
wild.
multiple laparoscopies that all said there was nothing there. So finally,
Oh
a couple years ago,
wow.
which is good.
That's crazy. Oh wow.
I would love to know, how did your endo kind of push you to start your own business? Like what drove you to start going down, not only your personal brand, but Your Bliss as well?
I guess like with my personal brand, that's been there for so long, and it started as like a weight loss journey, which I guess it was very of the time back then, which is kind of a bit cringy to like look back now because we just didn't know any better. But it was a really toxic place. It was very, I want the thigh gap and to be really skinny, and it was just that's what social media was. So I started my Instagram because of that, and I guess it kind of morphed into this fitness into I've got endo, and I kind of became an advocate for it without even meaning to be. And I still get people all the time tell me that they have been diagnosed because of me, as in they knew what to talk to their doctor about, and they felt like they had the confidence to advocate for themselves because of watching that journey. So I'm always going to continue to be that advocate, even if it helps that few people to be able to get those answers for themselves. So I guess like that was that side of it. And then when I was diagnosed and had my first laparoscopy, my surgeon was awesome. And he was, I guess, the one who said to me, there's no cure for endo, but we can look at, the things that you put in and on your body. And that's, I guess, what you can do for yourself. And so I went on this like, okay, let's swap over the things in my life that, are probably those nasty hormone disruptors. And I swapped my toothpaste and my deodorant and all these different things that we use on a daily basis. And perfume was kind of the last thing that I even thought about. And I remember asking the people in my life if they had any, I guess, swaps for perfume to a cleaner alternative. And everyone told me to use essential oils as my perfume. And I was like, I guess that's not what I wanted. I wanted to have my cake, I guess, and eat it to a certain degree where I still want to have those pleasures in life, like spraying on a perfume that makes you feel confident and beautiful and that people compliment you on. And I felt like that was missing from the market.
That's absolutely incredible. And there definitely isn't, or especially wasn't, any cleaner alternatives for perfume. And that's just so incredible. Obviously, not having to go through the diagnosis and any of that, but just kind of the outcome and what led to that. Obviously, you're navigating, chronic illnesses, business, all of that. What have you kind of found the most challenging about holding the two?
I guess it's kind of it's how you look at it, but it's good and bad. So I look at it like, with having chronic illness, you never know when you're going to be unable to, I guess, give to the best of your ability, which can make working for yourself extremely hard because, sometimes you just can't push through. Like literally a week ago when I was in Sydney setting up for the trade show, you've only got a few hours to set up and it's a lot of hard work. And I had one of the worst flare-ups I'd had in years, and I physically couldn't stand up. And it's like in moments like that are so frustrating, especially because if you're around people and you're working with people who don't have endo or they don't have a chronic illness, they can't understand. And so you feel very hopeless. So yeah, it's super, super frustrating and you have to work around it. But then I also look at it as, if I had a normal job, which I have had, up until 3 years ago, but you have to show up anyway. So it's like, I look at it as working for myself is the best thing for chronic illness, because I can, if I'm in a way that in a state of not being able to, stand up, then I can work from my bed, and that's amazing. So I do look at it like that, but it is you have to roll with the punches. And, if it means you have to take a break during the day and then work later at night, then that's what you have to do. So yeah, it is frustrating, and living life where you I guess can't control what happens is really frustrating. But I guess you just learn to live with it and see what works better for you, and try to live life in a way that you're giving yourself the best chance every day. So yeah.
Yeah, as 100%. And some employers are super supportive in what you need, especially with a chronic illness. There are also the ones that obviously aren't as supportive, or
No.
whatever it
Yeah.
may be. So I can definitely see kind of both sides of it. How lucky are we to actually be able to run our own businesses and be able to work from bed if we need to, or work around a flare up? Like, it's just so, I personally am so grateful that I am able to do that and kind of take a step back if I need to. But it is definitely, trying to manage the two, or trying to keep your business going while you feel like you're stepping back. It's a lot to manage. I did also just want to jump back for a second. So obviously you had your really bad flare up last week when you were trying to set up. How did you manage that with obviously trying to set up for a trade show and still trying to be, like a boss bitch?
I know, it's hard. And I kind of pride myself on the fact that I've made a lot of switches and changes in my life that I don't have flare-ups very often. It's a very rare thing. And I think looking back in that situation, I was very stressed and I was very tired. And those two things are not a good combination for a flare-up. So, and I also acknowledge at the fact that when it happened, it was one of those moments where I was like, I just have to work through it because I don't have a choice. But I had to stop what I was doing, sit down, breathe, drink water, and take I think I probably took 30 minutes to sit down and just, and so in that situation, I had to do that. I had to stop working. I had to stay later. I was there for a really long time that night. But I know that I could not have kept going. I would have it would have ended very badly for me. So as someone who's a really high achiever, stopping and taking care of your health in moments like that is very, very hard. But yeah, I guess you just have to acknowledge that that's what you have to do. And also be mindful that you, I guess, look at why did that happen? Because sometimes it can come out of nowhere, but I know for me, stress is a massive trigger. So I tried then, I guess, for the rest of the week to make sure that I wasn't stressed.
Oh, 100% stress. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Mm.
Such a trigger.
Mm.
But that's so good that you could obviously take that step back. Obviously, you know, technically you lost 30 minutes, but at the same time, like, as you said, the result would have been so much worse if you hadn't have just taken 30 minutes.
Mm.
So glad it's obviously under control now and you could see like the triggers of that. If there is someone listening to this right now that maybe is struggling with their journey or diagnosis, or maybe holding the two, I guess, what would you say to someone?
I guess if you don't have a diagnosis and you're kind of just in this place of frustration that I think a lot of us are, where you feel like no one's taking you seriously, but you know, and no one knows your body better than you do. My advice is to continue to advocate for yourself, even when it's hard. Try to find friends or family who are going to support you through that, because I know that I've been in some really upsetting instances with GPs and doctors and that kind of thing, where when I've shown up by myself, they really don't take me seriously. Like even after I've been diagnosed with endo and I've had 2 laparoscopies, I've still had a GP look me in the face and tell me I don't have endo. So it's like moments like that where I think, you know, having someone, a support system with you is amazing in those instances. But I would, continue to advocate for yourself, because one day you will find that health professional who will take you seriously, and then it will change everything for you. And I guess if you're on that other side of, you know, diagnosis, then finding groups of people who are in the same boat as you is awesome. And I think it's kind of sad now how many people there are that have endo, but it's also nice because you feel like you're not alone. And I have a lot of friends that have it, and there's some awesome communities out there that are great for like advice, or, you know, because it can be very overwhelming. So I would look for those people because they make the journey way better.
100%. It's all about your community and feeling connected to people, because it can be so isolating. Your story and experiences, thank you so much. Like, I know people are going to find this so valuable. I would love if you were able to share where people can find you and obviously your incredible perfumes.
Yeah, for sure. So like our website is www.yourbliss.com.au, and our Instagram is yourbliss_beauty. And I also want to mention that this is, you know, like we're going to be an Endo Awareness Month. We've actually had this really amazing opportunity, and we're collaborating with Bang & Body. And so Priscilla from Bang & Body, she's the owner and the founder. We've decided that we really wanted to do something together for Endo Awareness Month. So if you go onto our website during, I guess, the week that this goes live or the week after, we're going to be doing like a gift with purchase. So if you purchase with us with a certain amount, you'll get one of Bang & Body's, you know, like yellow tubes, and we'll be donating 10% of our profits towards an endo charity that I'm going to be choosing. And Bang & Body is going to do the same. So I think that would be an awesome time to support us, because the money is just going back into helping people with endo. So yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, that's so amazing. That's such an amazing initiative as well, to, you know, raise awareness for endometriosis. And I mean, people get a little bonus out of it as well, which is always good.
Yeah, 100%. Who doesn't like free stuff?
Oh, 100%. Even I'm wearing date night today.
Are you? I love date night.
Oh my God. Hands down, favorite one. I love them all, but that one, I'm just like, yes, this is it.
I always get so many compliments when I wear date night.
Yeah, and peachy dreams.
Yeah, good taste. You've got good taste.
Amazing. I will make sure to leave the links in the show notes as well. So make sure that you know, get your hands on Maddie's amazing perfumes. But thank you so much for your time today. It was so good chatting to you and obviously learning about your journey. And thank you for your patience navigating computer issues.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Kayla.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you loved this app, make sure to leave a review on wherever you're listening so I can keep producing more episodes you love. If there is someone you would love to hear from within this series, please make sure to send me a DM so I can lock in even more epic conversations for you to listen to. And don't forget to come follow me on Instagram for more of my chaotic, unfiltered chats at KaylaPage_podcast. Until next time.